right in my hand. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
Well, there may be a lot of strength and hypertrophy applications what we're about to do next. This will also serve you if you're bouncing at the kick and stab bar in West by God, Virginia, and you gotta put some unruly patron out on his head. All day. Yep. Go. 5 seconds. Come on, finish it. 11. 12. All day. Come on. Okay, so today we started off with the deadlifts, okay? So Jonathan said his deadlift max was at 500 pounds. He's been stronger in the past, and I think he's probably above that now, but we want to introduce the method. It's it sort of has a mystique in the strength training world called wave loading. And with the Tijuana Barbell Club book, the book we just released a little while ago, that is one of the most popular programs in the book is the wave loading program here. So let me explain it to you a little bit. So with the wave loading, what it does is it primes the central nervous system or the contractile fibers of the muscle in such a way that the muscle is able to contract with much greater force in the subsequent sets. So what we do is you start off with about 89% of your max for 3 reps, go 94% of your max for 2 reps next, then 99% for 1. And you take about a 4-minute break between each set. If you're stronger, you need a little longer. If you're not strong, you need a little less. Okay, then after that, you'd go back to 3 reps. But this time, you'd increase that 3 reps to 90%. Then you go to 96%, then 101%, okay? And then, so we just did 2 waves there with Jonathan, and it worked very well. But a lot of guys that are very athletic and got a good workout capacity keep going. So for deadlifts, I wouldn't really do more than like 3 waves. But for him, getting back into it and things, he's at 500 pounds right now. I thought 2 waves would be good. And if you watch, as we go, he got more explosive. So you're not at that point where you're actually, getting to like failure or anything. And obviously, if you're, if you're more slow twitch, not good at reps and things, you have to adjust it. This is kind of just a good average point to start at. Okay. So then next, we went on to the keg carries. Okay. So if you see how Jonathan's carrying the keg, and a lot of this is very anecdotal here. It's interesting though. It's funny you say it's anecdotal. They've done like studies on powerlifters where they look at like, what sort of the commonalities of builds amongst the top powerlifters, like how big are their pecs, triceps, things like this. And actually the commonality they found with powerlifters and actually scientific studies of a good way of predicting strength is the size of their upper back. Okay, so we're hitting a lot of upper back here. And I'd say the most developed upper backs in the iron game are generally strongman. And I think you get a lot of that from isometric, a lot of the isometric work they do where you're carrying those heavy implements and things, especially if you've never done that kind of work before. So what we're doing there is a keg carry, very heavy keg. It was about 250 pounds. Or it might have been 275 pounds. It was, you saw a 2 and a 5 on there, but the rest was kind of blacked out. But anyways, what he did is, on the, the way he carried it was right and left, right there, how his hands were offset, and just did 4 sets that way, switch it every way. So it's a super set. We go 30 seconds on the keg carry. You want to do a good, do your best to maintain good posture, carrying it for 30 seconds. Then immediately we went into that seated row variation. Okay, so what it does is you can overload different parts of the movement. So what we did there is he's in that good contracted position, almost it feels like the top of a row sort of. So what we did there is we overloaded the beginning of what the row would be on the prime seat. So if you don't have that, basically what you're saying is you do a seated row and get a good stretch type of thing. Okay, so we did that for 4 sets. You go 30 seconds carry, 15 reps seated row. Okay, then we finish off with what's a 1-arm cable row. It's not a revolutionary exercise. However, a lot of the stuff we're showing you here is not going to be revolutionary exercises. What you may not be familiar with is the approach to what we're doing. Because remember, like a basic does not mean elementary, it means fundamental. So what we're doing there is 5 minutes there. He goes back and forth, 6 reps on the right, 6 reps on the left, no rest, back and forth, repeat that sequence. for 5 minutes. So a lot of stuff we're doing here might not look like traditional hypertrophy, but as I said before, this isn't traditional hypertrophy. Most people don't have the cojones to do this in the first place. So, you know, we did that, got that workout done in what, 55 minutes or so? Hauling ass, baby. But I mean, we got, you know, real functional strength, build his work capacity, and some hypertrophy, and some great hypertrophy work in there. Awesome workout. And this workout is the, you know, we call it what we call a thickness back workout. So for someone trying to really bring up their back, they, you know, the second day they could do more stuff where they're focusing on, you know, pull-ups, more vertical pulls, things like that. All day, come on. Other side.
Man, that was actually, I liked it a lot. You know, I'm always up for a challenge. I like to do different stuff. I mean, that's the thing about like bodybuilding in general. I feel like it's just gone too into the look more than like everything else. Like just, you know, again, the aesthetics have diminished, and people being athletic, it's almost just, you don't really see it much. So, you know, I want to bring a whole different avenue, and this, of course, you can't have any better person than Josh over here.
You know, so existentialists say form before function. Today we did a little more function before form, and here's training for hypertrophy. And since Jonathan is a bodybuilder, a lot of strength stuff he doesn't normally do, so that's going to be a catalyst for new hypertrophy. Because, you know, you look at some of the studies and say, okay, powerlifting programs, bodybuilding programs elicit similar amounts of hypertrophy. I think what it is a lot of times is people aren't used to training one style or the other, because like you can say, okay, you know, one side or the other. So most people aren't, like when you go outside your comfort zone, you look at like Johnny Jackson, the 2012 Olympia. Well, he hadn't really done much for a few years prior to that. We trained for that Raw Unity meet, and then did a lot of powerlifting training. Then we went back to bodybuilding training, brought his best package ever to the stage, because it's like a sort of a catalyst, a spark. It's what he had done before, but obviously different body types can respond differently. But a lot of times when you haven't done regularly, you're going to get a huge gain in hypertrophy. So this also will go for the powerlifters watching that never doing it, you know, bench, squat, deadlift, bench, squat, deadlift, all you do year round. But maybe if you hit some of those smaller muscle groups and brought up some weaknesses, you're gonna get stronger there. Because if all you do is the movements and you have compensatory movement patterns, guess what? You're gonna make them worse by doing what's causing the problems in the first place. So you have to correct those things. So it's an integrated approach. Most people are into some dogmatic approach of like what they prefer, what they've done in the past. I mean, we're whores. We're not even expensive call girls. We're 50-cent nickel night, $2 whores, whatever you want to call it. We're just the type of whores that do whatever it takes to get results.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's workout with Josh. This is the second workout we've done so far. Make sure you guys subscribe to Josh's channel. His link will be in the description box below, as well as his Instagram page. And make sure you guys leave in the comment section below what you guys want to see from us next. So anyways, till next time, everyone. Peace out.